All right, hello once again. This is Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and as part of the Rankin Technical College AWD 1000 Web Development Technologies class, I've been going through a series of presentations that I'm creating based off of the Mozilla Developer Network Learn Web Development Getting Started with the Web series. And there are about 9 parts in here, and I've so far done getting started with the web overview, installing the software, what your website will look like, dealing with files, HTML basics, CSS basics, and JavaScript basics. So what's left before we delve into HTML, CSS, JavaScript, etc. in depth is publishing your website and how the web works. So publishing the website basically means that you're putting it out there on the internet so that other people can see it. So right now, this site that I have been playing around with, this I Love Mo site, is only available on my machine. It's not available anyplace else. All right. And I am going to go back and try to recreate this site for you and do it just very incrementally, very slowly. All right. And we'll try to make it look like something that's, for lack of better words, halfway decent. All right. Okay. So as they mention here, publishing a website is a complex topic because there's many ways of going about it. One way is, as it says, if you want control over this, one thing that you can do is you can get hosting and you can get a domain name. All right. Now, I'm currently working on a site for my students worked on a site last fall for a woman who runs the equivalent of kind of an animal sanctuary / hospice. So she takes in dogs and cats that are either sick, sickly, or have been abandoned, etc. And I'm going to show you an example of one of the websites that one of the students made. Okay, this was Aaron McCardle, and this is done very well. All right, so it's Arrow Bridge Rescue. Here's, it's got a what we do thing here. Here's our story. It's got pictures of the different animals, etc. You can see all that stuff. Some of the rescues, and you can click and you can work your way through here, etc. Okay. And how to support us, etc. Well, right now, this only exists, on a Rankin server. So in other words, this is a computer that's housed at Rankin Technical College that anybody with a connection, an internet connection, can get to by putting in this address. Okay. When Aaron first created this, it was just on his machine and only on his machine, so other people couldn't get to it. Now, one of the things that students are required to do every semester is they are required to create their own portfolio. So again, using Mr. Cardle here as an example, here's an example of Aaron's portfolio. So there's his About Me. There he is. There's a portfolio, some examples of his work where you can click on there and you can get to some of the work examples that he's done while he's been here. A copy of his resume right there. And let's see, a contact me. Okay, so why am I even showing you this? I'm not trying to waste your time, but I'm telling you that if you take and create something like this and it stays only on your local machine, other people can't see it. But if you put it on a server, then they can see it. So in order to put it on a server, you typically you will first start by getting a web host, somebody who will be willing on their machine. And I'm not talking Rankin here, but let's just say I made my own website. All right. That, there's places like Bluehost, HostGator. There's a bunch of them that are out there that will allow you to rent space on their machines. As it says there, you put website files on the web server. Typically, before you do this, you buy what's called a domain name. All right. So for instance, this site that I mentioned to you before that Mr. McCardle was working on, this Arrow Bridge, she has I think she's got arrowbridgerescue.com. Well, the woman who runs the Arrow Bridge Rescue, her name is Caitlin Kincaid. She liked this. She liked this one was done, and some of my other students, there were other examples out there. But she said, for lack of better words, it was kind of hard to use. All right. So what happened was, she bought the domain name arrowbridgerescue.com, and she went out through Bluehost and she got that. So now you're able to go in and you are able to log in. And, of course, in order to be able to log in, you need a login and you need a password. And hold on for a sec. Well, Miss Kincaid ended up saying that the site, as it was created, was kind of difficult for her to use. So I went back and I rewrote it in this package, this software that's called WordPress, because it's very similar to a product that she uses. So this is what she has right now. All right, there's a copy of her business card. There's a picture. There's an about, and here are some of the rescues that she's taken in. All right, here's a photo gallery of a bunch of the stuff that she's done. She's going to have a little, if she decides to implement it, a little shop where people can buy shirts and tote bags, and she's got a way to contact them. The point is this, that if I had done this and only put it on my own machine, the rest of the world couldn't look at it. But she went out and bought the domain name arrowbridgerescue.com. So eventually when you go out there, this is the site that should come up. All right, I made some changes to it and she still got to okay it. And there's a few other things that have to be done. But as it says there, a domain name, you can see it in blue, is the unique address where people can find your website. All right. Now, when you move stuff around and you move it from one machine to another, there are different ways that you can do it. As an example, when people want to move things to the iwt.rankin.edu, so if I go out there and I put in me, for example, all right, I created a dummy portfolio so that the students could look at it. And this was the kind of thing that I wanted them to be able to create. All right. Again, like I said, this is just a dummy thing where they click portfolio and it'll go down to their portfolio examples. If you click portfolio here, it goes to their portfolio examples. If you click resume, it goes down to their resume. If you click contact me, it goes to their contact page, etc. All right. So why am I even telling you any of this? Well, when we did all this, I had to find some way to move this page that I created on my machine over to the Rankin server. And the software that we use to do that is something called FileZilla. All right. And when you do this, you've got to put in the name of the host. You've got to put in your username, your password, and your port number. And then what happens is you can take anything that's over here. This is splitting your machine in two, but I'm not going to log in now. But if I did, what you'd see over here would be all of the stuff that I have on my account for the Rankin server. And if I wanted to take, for example, this Arrowbridge Pix, and I dragged it over there, then it would be available on the Rankin server. All right. The reason I'm telling you this is using this file transfer protocol program, which is what FileZilla is it allows you to actually transfer files from a regular user's machine to a server someplace. It allows you to upload. Now, a true file transfer protocol, true FTP, a file transfer program, basically, will also allow you to download. So it'll allow you to take stuff from a server and copy it to your machine. So it goes both ways. You can upload, which means you go from a single user machine to a server, or you can download, which means you go from a server to a single user machine. All right. So they give you some tips in here, and I'm not going to spend very much time on this. I'm already up to 10 minutes on here, and I'm only doing one lecture on this particular chapter. But it says MDM does not promote specific commercial companies. So there's all sorts of them that are out there. All right. And they're saying basically you can go out, you can go look on Google or whatever and find your own. There are free services available. All right. You can use online tools like GitHub. So in other words, and I've got a series of videos out there that if I think about it, I'll link to it. Otherwise, I'm sure I'm going to be redoing it this year, where you can take information and you can use it, right from GitHub. You can publish it out to GitHub and other people can see it. You can use, as it says here, a web-based IDE. The one I like kind of is JSBin right here. And if you do that, notice that I can come in here and I can, for example, I'll type my name in here, Jeff Scott. So you see me typing it here and you immediately see the output. All right. And I can come in here and I can add, as an example, I can add some CSS in here. You've seen this before. So I can say style, and I can say I want all my paragraphs to be color red. All right. Now, if I come in here and I put this into a paragraph, you can already tell it's turned red here. All right. So this is very interactive as far as the way that it's set up. Now, if I put my name in again and it's not in a paragraph, so I'm going to put a couple line break tags in here, which are BR tags. And I put my name in here again. If I just type in Jeff Scott, notice it's not in red anymore because I said only paragraphs should be red. So I can come in here and I can change the background. And I can make it yellow. All right. And for some reason I lost my ending style tag there. All right. And it didn't actually change it, but it changed it up here. Okay. But I can come in and I can do things like, let's see. Actually, that should have been inside the body. That's probably why it didn't work. So let me say body. Yeah, now you notice it. Well, you may have noticed it was yellow for a second. And boom. Well, what happened there? Don't know what happened. But if I do come in here and say background yellow, you'll notice now it's yellow. So I can go in and very interactively change things in here. All right. I can write my own CSS and link to it as well. Okay. All right. So they go through the steps here that you can use to publish via GitHub. I think that's very early in the process to go through this, but I do promise you this. I'll come back to this. And after I've created the entire I Love Mo website, we'll go and we'll publish it to GitHub so you can see what it's like. All right. All right. So again, as always, they've got more reading in here and they do a nice job of this. So I'm going to come back in just a minute because this has been very early. It's only 14 minutes, but on how the web works. And we're going to go through the steps in here. And again, shouldn't be very long. All right. I probably could do it in the same lecture I'm in, but I will do it and break it up into two. So I'll be back in just a couple.